Okay, this is a video on how to perform the Chapter 7 grader project, which is the third task in your week 2 assignments. The first thing we're going to do is go into this course in your Blackboard shell. Click on your assignment link on your Blackboard menu. You're going to see a lot of assignments here because you're looking at the teacher end of it. But you should just see week 2. If you read through all this, this is the videos on how to perform the training and the exam in My IT Labs, which is step 1 and step 2, task 1 and step 2 for this week. But chapter 3 here is the grader project, which is a little bit different. There again, you have to be in the live application. So what you would do here is just click on your assignment link. It then takes you to a link that will take you straight into your My IT Lab account. As always, when you first come into your My IT Lab account, just click on Course Materials. You should see all the labs that are open there for your assignments. We're clicking on Word Lab 1, Required Task. And we're going to do the grader project. The previous video demoed how to open it and download the files, but I'm going to show you the actual steps of it because they're a little bit difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Okay, it's just warning me this is the last time that I can do this. You get 5 chances to do this lab, and I've already recorded and practiced on some, so that's all it's warning me. You won't see that unless it's your fifth time. Okay, we're going to, there again, download the files. I'm going to take the option to download all of them at one time, but it's going to be in a compressed folder. It comes up and asks me to save the file. I'm going to say okay. There again, I went, from the previous video, I went into Mozilla Firefox, and in the options, I told it to always ask me where I want to put it so I can make sure I know where it's going. So I'm going to put it on the desktop just for convenience sake. And click Save, close that window out, minimize all my windows, and go back to my desktop to see if there is a folder called Starting Materials. And there is. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. This was from the last recording. It's a compressed folder. It is zipped. I cannot use the files in there, so I'm going to have to right click, extract all, and from the extraction wizard window, I'm going to click extract. If I close this out, make sure there again you're using the files in the folder called starting material that does not have a zipper. Just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and delete the one with the zipper. I don't have a chance to download it anymore, but you do. You have 5 more chances. And also, if you do not like working with compressed folders, you can download each one of these files individually by clicking on the drop down arrow. So you don't have to do the compressed one if you're nervous about it or you don't like working with compressed folders. Okay, I will open my material. I'm going to open the instruction file. And the first thing it tells us to do is start Word and download and open the Go AIO all-in-one. That's the name of the book. W07 is Word Chapter 7 Grader Project. Grader H1, Homework 1. Okay, I'm going to minimize my instruction. I'm going to open my file, the grader one that it just said. That's going to be my work file. I will come back to my instruction file. Let me see what else I have open there. That's it. Okay, on my instructions it says for the whole document, change the bottom margin to 0.5, the left and the right to 0.75. I will now bring up my work file. To change margins, you click on Page Layout, and the Page Setup, click on Margins. Go down to the bottom where it says Custom, and we need the bottom margin. So in the bottom, we want it to be 0.5, so type in 0.5, and we want the left and the right to be 0.75, so just select a text in the text box for the left and the right and type in 0.75 and click OK. Bring up my instruction file. I'm on step 3. click in the blank line at the bottom of the document, insert the text from the downloaded document, W07 text, and delete the blank line at the end of the document. I'll bring up my work file. It said to click in the blank line at the bottom of the document. So I'm just going to do, that first step, I'm sorry. The first step in the instructions file here said to display format markings. So to find the last line in it, your format markings are, if you click on the Home tab, in the paragraph group, the very last icon on the first row, if you point it says Show Hide, these are your paragraph marks. So when they want me to go to the blank line at the bottom of the document, it's the one that has the last paragraph marking in. Without that turned on, you can't see it. Okay, so the easiest way is to make sure those paragraph markings are on so you know you're at the end. Okay, we're in the blank line at the bottom. We're going to insert the text from another document that we downloaded. So to insert text from another file, click on the Insert tab on the ribbon. In the text group, click the drop-down arrow next to the word Object and take the option that says Text from File. Now we're going to navigate to find the file. So if you have to, if you don't see it here, there again, we downloaded the folder to the desktop. It was called Starting Material. Make sure it's the one without the zipper, which we deleted. And it's this file right here. So just either single click and click Insert or double click. The text should come into your document. Okay. Step. I'm going to turn that format markings off on my Word. Okay, we're on step 4. We're going to select the title of the document. We're going to apply a fill white outline, shadow, and we're going to change the font size to 23, and we're going to apply a glow effect. Okay, I will scroll up to the top of my document, or you can do a Control Home. We're going to select the title, and we're going to apply the fill white outline. So in the Home tab in the font group, click the text effects, and it's the white outline. So fill white outline. Well, you got to watch the screen tip. It should say accent 2, hard shadow accent 2. This is it. So select it. We are now, okay, I'm going to probably not get the instructions file up. I'll read it off. I don't know, my computer's not letting me have both of them up. Okay, so we still have the title selected. We need to change it to a font size of 23. So on the Home tab in the font group, click the font drop down arrow. And there's not a 23, so you have to type it in. So type in 23, hit enter. And we also want to apply the glow effect. So there again on the Home tab in the font group, click down the text effects button, go down to glow, and it is glow effect blue 8-point. So I'm just finding my screen tips. 8-point glow accent 1, and that's the style that it wanted. Okay, on step 5, beginning with the heading consultant assignments here, we're going to select from here all the way to the end of the document, including the picture at the bottom of page 2. So we're going to select all the text, and then we're going to format the text to 2 columns. To make it into 2 columns, click on your page layout tab. In the page setup group, click your columns drop down arrow and select 2. Format the text in 2 columns, and then in the ruler area at the second column, we're going to set a left tab at the 1/4 inch, 0.25 inch on the horizontal ruler. Your tab markings are over here. It's already set to a left align. a left tab. So all you have to do is come down here on the second column. Now if this is the 1 inch mark, this is a 1/2 inch. This should be 1/4 of an inch. As long as that's a left tab. If it's not, you keep clicking it till you get back to the shape that looks like an L, and your screen tip should say left tab. Point right there to that tick mark on the ruler, which represents 1/4 of an inch, and just click, and you set a tab marking. Okay, we're on step 6. At the beginning of the paragraph below consultants, so I'm just going to click at the very beginning of the paragraph underneath consultant assignments. Press the tab key. Okay, and then do the same at the beginning of each paragraph marking. So the paragraph under each subheading, we're going to shift it in by hitting the tab. Okay, so just tab in the beginning of each paragraph under each subheading. Okay, so step 7, in the paragraph below consultant assignments, we're going to change the alignment to justify. So just select that whole paragraph. And on the Home tab, in the paragraph group, the 4th button on the second row, when you point it says justify, and you notice how your left margin is perfectly nice and neat because word processors default to left align. Your right margin is all jagged. A justify will even up the right margin to its best ability by manipulating the text and the spacing so that the right margin is just as neat as the left margin. Okay, so we're going to now change the after paragraph spacing to 12. So with it still selected, up here on your ribbon, click on the page layout, and in your spacing, and we want the after, hit the arrow up and make sure it goes to 12. And then we're going to apply this same formatting to the paragraphs under each other subheadings. So you can select each one of those and then go up there and do the justify and change the spacing after to 12, or you can use the format painter and copy that formatting to all the other paragraphs. So I'm going to use the format painter. So while this is all still selected, if I click on my Home tab and click on the format painter, if I just click once and then I go and paint it over that paragraph, it gets all of the formatting, but I lose my format painter. I need to do it like 3 more times. So what I'm going to do is, if you double click on that format painter, notice when your pointer is in your document, it's got the paintbrush hanging with it. That means that that format painter is still turned on. So I'm going to do the next paragraph, and notice I didn't lose it this time. The paintbrush is still with it because I double clicked, which means it's going to stay active until I turn it off. And so select all of those. Now, since it's still active, if I click on anything else, it's going to do the same formatting. I don't want any more. Go up here to your Home tab in the clipboard group and click on the format painter to turn it off. Notice now my I-beam it's an I-beam. It's not got the paintbrush, so the format painter is turned off. Okay. I was supposed to, back on step 3, I was supposed to delete the blank line at the end of the document. So I'm just going to backspace that one out. That was on step 3. I forgot to do it. I knew it didn't look right. On step 8, at the beginning of the art subheading, so I'm just going to click right here in front of the art. We want to insert a column break because these are lopsided. So up on your page layout tab in the page setup group, if you click the drop down arrow where it says breaks and then click column, it breaks that column and it evens them up a little bit better. Step 9, for all 6 subheadings, we're going to change the alignment to center. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the first one, consultant, On the Home tab in the paragraph group, we want to center it, so click on the Center button. And we want to apply italics to it. So in the Font group, click on the I for italics. And we want to change the after paragraph spacing to 0. So up on your Page Layout tab, in the spacing group where it says after, we want to change the spacing to 0. Now, this selection right now has all three of those formatting changes, which is center alignment, italics, and spacing after. I have to do that to all of the rest of the subtitles. So instead of clicking on each subtitle and doing those 3 steps again, I'm going to use the Format Painter. But I know I want to use that format 6 different times. So instead of clicking on the Format Painter just once, I'm going to double click to keep it active. So then I'm going to now, if I click in this left margin and just point to the line of text that I want the formatting to, I don't have to drag across it. I can just click in the left margin to select it and it will automatically do it. So that's called your selection bar, your left margin. So just be very careful over here when you're on that second column that your pointer changes to a white arrow and just click in front of it. Or there again, you can do that drag across it either way. And so I need to do the questions too. So the selection method is pointing in the left margin with the white arrow and clicking. Now I want to turn that Format Painter off before I mess anything up. Okay, now number 10, click at the beginning of the paragraph under Color Palette. The paragraph under Color Palette. Insert the downloaded picture file called Color Palette. So we're going to have to insert a picture that we downloaded with these files from the assignment. So click on the Insert tab. In the Illustrations group, click on Pictures. And navigate to your desktop or wherever you downloaded that folder with your files on it, or wherever you save those files. I put it on the desktop in the Starting Material folder. And this is the color palette picture that we want. So we're either double click on it or click once and click Insert. Either method. And now we want to apply the tight text wrapping. So with it still selected up here on your Picture Tools Format tab, in the Arrange group you have Wrap Text. Click that button and they want tight. Okay. Step 11. In the Layout Options dialog box, set the height. So to get to your layout options, this little box that comes to the side, when you point to it, it says Layout Options, click on it. And I'm going to go all the way to the bottom to where it says See More, so I can see all of the options that I have. And what they want is the height. Obviously that's the size, so click on the Size tab. And in the height, they want it set to absolute, and it's 0.75, so just type over the text in there, type 0.75. And the horizontal position, so now let's go to the Position tab. And the horizontal position, we want it set to absolute 0, so type in a 0. And it's to the right of the column, so we don't have to change any of that. And then we need the vertical position, go down to the vertical section, set to absolute, so click in front of absolute. Where it says 0.0, type in 0.6. And we want this below the paragraph, so we don't have to change that. And click OK. And also in step 11, we want to apply the center shadow rectangle picture style. So with this still selected, up here on your Picture Tools Format tab, you have your picture styles. Now if you click anywhere off that picture, notice your Picture Tools tab goes away. In order to get the options that you need, you have got to have that picture selected. So now you can see the Picture Tools format appears, and we need a picture shadow, so I can go row by row and look at the different effects I have, or different styles, or I can click this More button, and it's supposed to be a center shadow rectangle, so it's this one right here. Select it. Okay, step 12. We're going to add a dashed line page border, and the dashed line one is the 4th style. We're going to change it to orange accent 2 and have a width of a half a point. Okay, so I'm going to click anywhere in my document. Up on the Design tab, in the Page Background group, you have the Page Borders button. Click on it. They wanted the dash line, which they said it's the force style, so click on the force style under the style. Under color, we want the instructions say orange accent 2, which is this one, and we want a width of a 1/2 point. It's already that. We don't have to change it. If it wasn't, you'd have to scroll down here, find the right one, but it's a 1/2, so all you have to do is click OK. 13, step 13, next to the title. Okay, draw a small oval. So we're going to have to go into our Insert tab. In the Illustrations group, click on the Shapes button. And in the recently used shapes, you might have an oval. If not, if you go down to Basic Shapes, you should see oval. Click oval, and then come into your document, up there by the title, and just draw an oval. It doesn't matter what the size is right now because you're going to change it. Now, when you drew it, you have your Layout tab, Layout Options tab that appears. So click on it. And what we have to, in the instructions, it says in the Layout dialog box, set the absolute height. So let's go down here to the See More options again. And we're on the size, we're dealing with the height. So we want the absolute height set to 0.75. So just type over the text that's there and type in 0.75. And the absolute width set to 1.5. And then set the horizontal position, so I have to go to the Position tab, to Alignment. So we need to click the Alignment button, and we want it to alignment right and relative to the margin. So change the column to the margin. We're going to set the vertical position to Alignment, so click the Alignment button. And we want it top relative to the margin. So change it to margin and click OK. And you can see it repositions it. Okay, inside the shape box, we're going to add the text beginning fall 2014, and we're going to bold it. So just right now with the box selected, type in your text beginning. So type in beginning fall 2017. I'm going to select all the text in there, so I can bold it. So on the Home tab, in the Font group, click on B to bold. And then we also want to change the shape outline to orange accent 2. So with the shape selected on the Drawing Tools Format tab, we want the shape outline, not the text. Make sure you go Shape Outline, and we want this to be orange accent 2. So find orange accent 2 by watching your screen tip and select it. Step 15. Under the questions, so go down here to the questions, we're going to insert a text box that is approximately 0.75 inches high and 3 inches wide. To insert a text box, up on your ribbon, click on the Insert tab. In the text group, you have a text box option, the button, click on it. Now we're going to draw it, so go all the way down to the bottom where it says Draw a Text Box. Select it, and then this crosshair comes in. So we're supposed to be drawing this right under question, so just draw the box. It doesn't matter what the size is right now. Just draw a box. When you draw it, you make sure that box is still selected. If it's not, you're not going to have these tools. On your Drawing Tools Format tab, over here in the Size group, they want it to be 0.75 inches tall. So just click in the Height box and type 0.75. And in the Width box, we want it to be 3 inches, so just type in a 3, and then just click in any open white space, and the box should come in. Now inside the box, I'm going to go ahead and select the box and just move it over. Inside the box, we want to type email Roger. So it's a long set of text. So go ahead and just type that in according to the instruction sheet. Okay, I've typed in the text in the text box according to the directions. Now, also in the text box, we're going to change the font size to 12. So I'm just going to select all the text in the text box. Up on your home tab in the font group, change the text size to 12. And we want to center the text and bold it. So while it's still selected, click on the home tab in the paragraph group, second button on the second row. When you point to it, the screen tip should say center it. And we also want to bold it, so on the home tab in the font group, first button on the second row, B for bold. Okay, on step 16, we're going to change the shape style to moderate effect orange accent 2. So with the text box still selected, on the Drawing Tools Format tab, we want the shape. So shape styles here. I'm going to click the More button so that I can see all the shapes. And we want moderate effect orange accent 2, so that means it's going to be in the orange column. So point to these till you see the screen tip say moderate effect orange accent 2. That's the correct one. We're going to remove the hyperlink applied to the email address. So the email has a hyperlink, so just click anywheres, right click anywheres on that email address, and in the shortcut menu click on remove hyperlink so that it just looks like text. It just comes as plain text and not the hyperlink. We're going to display the layout dialog box, so right next to here is your layout options. So click on that. Display the dialog box by clicking down here on the options that says See More. We're going to click in the Size tab and then set the height to 0.75 and the width to 3. So the height and the width are already set to that. So all I have to do now is click OK. On step 17, on the, oh, they wanted that still open. So they went on the Position tab. So go ahead and click your layout options again. Click the See More to get the dialog box up. Click on the Position tab and set the horizontal alignment. So click in front of the alignment to right. So drop down the arrow and select right. And we want this relative to the margin. So change the column to margin. And set the vertical to absolute position 0. So type in a 0 in the absolute. And we want this below the paragraph. So that's fine. So just click OK. Now, following the paragraph under consultant assignments, so the paragraph right under here, at the end of this paragraph, insert a blank line, so hit enter. On the blank line, insert an equation SmartArt graphic. I'm going to get my, I wanted to get my menu back up. Right here. I lost my ribbon. So I want to uncollapse it. I accidentally clicked it away. So right click and get it back. Okay, so we're right here on this blank line. We're going to insert an equation SmartArt graphic. So up on your ribbon, click on the Insert tab. In the Illustrations group, click on SmartArt graphic. And there's a lot in here, but the equation one is, I think it's under Processes. It's this one right here. It looks like something plus something equals. So, you know, look for the screen tip, but it should be under Processes, and it looks like this. So click on that one and click OK. It should come into the document. And in the text pane, we're going to type the following 3 items. So in the first one, whether you want to type here on the object itself, or if you click on this plus sign, it will give you a bulleted list. So the first thing we need to type is consultant. The next text was hotel staff. And the last one is remodel. Okay, and when you're finished with it, you can just click the X here and they will come into this. So whether you want to type here and it's kind of small on the object itself, or if you would rather have this bigger bulleted list to type in. If that's more comfortable, it doesn't matter. Either one will work. Okay, now step 19. Make sure what we're going to do is resize this graphic. Don't have one of these objects selected. If one of these objects is selected, it's going to resize that object. We want the entire SmartArt graphic resized. So make sure, there again, if I click away, it's not selected. Click back over here. We want the whole entire object, not each individual thing. So just make sure none of these are selected, but the entire SmartArt graphic is. And we want to resize it. So up here on your SmartArt Tools Format tab, on the ribbon here, the very last option where it says size, we want the height to be 0.75. So just click in there and type in 0.75. And we want the, and that's it. We're not changing anything else on it. We want to change the colors though. So go back and select it again. Make sure it's not one of the, make sure it's the whole entire object, not one of these individuals. We want to change the colors. So in the format, in the design tab, SmartArt Tools Design tab, you have a button here that says change colors. Click on it. And we want to change it to Colored Outline Accent 2. So find Accent 2 and point to your screen tip that says Colored Outline. That's the correct one. So select it. And now on step 20, we're going to display the properties and add the tag remodel. Display properties, you have to click on the File tab. And probably in the middle of your screen, you have the Properties section. They want this tag here. Click where it says Add a Tag and type in the word remodel. Okay, I'm going to go back up here with my back button to my document. I'm going to save it now because I'm finished. Okay, mine closed. You should just have to save it. It would say save over. Because my document closed a while ago, I'm going to have to go back and save it in my starting material and call it the grader and replace it. All you should have to do, for some reason my Word was messing up, you just have to click File, Save over the original. You don't need to, but my computer was having issues. Okay, let's close it. We're going to submit it. Now this is just like the video you saw a while ago on how to submit these. Bring up the grader project lab in your My IT Lab account. We're going to upload the completed file. We need to browse wherever you put it. I put mine on the desktop in the starting material, and it's called the Grader H1 Homework 1, and upload it. Make sure it says wait while it's being uploaded. Once it's uploaded, you still have to, there again, submit it for grading. So on the bottom right corner, click Finish, Submit for Grading. If you return to your course, you should be able to now, I got out of it, click on your Grades tab and see what grade you got for it. And if you need to fix anything, remember you have 5 options to go back there and make any changes. Now there again, I'm still showing 100 because I've done it so many times. I'm going to, where it says Grader Project, drop down that arrow, go to View Submissions. And there again, I made a 97, so I probably typed in, I probably misspelled something. What you can do there, if you want to better your grade, just click on that. It's going to come up, and you can either look through here and see what number you got wrong, where I got a point taken off at, or I can click the markup report and look at it and see what it says. Points. 2 elements commented. Please check below. Submission. Points. So, oh, my section break. Looks like I accidentally hit section break instead of column break. I probably just clicked the wrong button. So when we did that column break way back in one of these steps, I selected section instead of column. I can't fix mine anymore because I'm out. I've only got 5 attempts. But if you have any errors, what you want to do now is go back to that file, you know, click on any one of those types of reports that shows you where you got it wrong, bring the file back up, make your corrections. So I did a section break somewhere. Make your corrections, save it again, close it and resubmit, and you can do that 5 times to better your grade. Okay, so if you have any problems, just yell at me. Good luck.